Today is my last day on the ranch. It's been an amazing time to be able to kind of go back and reflect on what I learned over the past 10 years from the first time I stepped on this ranch. And today is really a starting line for the next 10 years of my life. And if you've been following anything that I've been doing, it's really what I really call my life's work at this point in time, what I can see for the near future and the distant future. And that's it over the next 10 years, 20 years, however many years I have here, hopefully many. I really want to be able to concentrate on what I call inspiring people to think about a whole new way of looking at their health and well-being, what I call going beyond the scale. And ironically, that probably seems very strange considering I lived and died by the scale on Biggest Loser. All of us that were contestants lived and died by the scale every week. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people are living and dying by the scale. And let's face it, millions of us have had challenges with our weight. And you don't have to just be morbidly obese like I was at a top weight of 435 pounds, or when I started on Biggest Loser, 400 pounds, to be challenged by it. And I think what happens is we're not really understanding it. We're not looking at the things that really are important. It's important to measure things. It's important to have an understanding about whether it's your cholesterol or your blood pressure or what you weigh, but not what you weigh as defining who you are and whether you're healthy or not, because the number on a scale doesn't do that. What will help is if you start to understand body composition. And even with that, understand the numbers are just numbers. You need to understand what those numbers mean for your metabolism, your own personal DNA, your own blueprint. Yesterday when I spent time with Dr. Huizenga, I got a good chance to understand where I am today, technically 11 years after the first time I stepped on, or not stepped on, laid down and got a DEXA scan. But 10 years yesterday was how long it was from our finale. So I've been able to traverse 10 years later, what I would call doing a pretty good job of keeping my weight in a very strong maintenance mode. And yet there are things that I am confused by, things I don't understand. It's really not the calories in, calories out issues. It's really the metabolic things that are determining my health and well-being. And I am determined to continue to be a student of that. I am never going to be somebody that's trying to understand all the things that have to do with nutrition and metabolic syndrome or insulin resistance or any of that stuff. I don't need to. There's plenty of people. There's scientists, there's doctors, there's people, there's subject matter experts, there's trainers, there's nutritionists. Everybody has a role that they can play in it. My role, for the most part, what I'm kind of self-selecting is saying I want to be a catalyst for a conversation. A catalyst for a conversation for people, each and every individual that's interested, to start to explore and think about their body composition. Like what I said, what is it as far as living beyond the scale, the number on a bathroom scale? So the first thing I'm going to do is say, if you have a bathroom scale, I would just say get rid of it. It's not helping you. It's basically mentally torturing you. And it's not a good measure of whether or not you're quote unquote forget successful. It's not a measure of whether or not you're getting someplace that's going to help your health and well-being. I would suggest that you look into and understand and find a good quality body composition scale if you want to make a difference in your health and well-being. I'm not saying what those numbers are, what they should be. That's a personal choice. There's plenty of information that's out there. I will be somebody that will be connecting you to that if that's something that you're interested in. And like if you have an Apple Watch, you have a Fitbit, or you have anything that you're tracking, they're a point of reference. They are not literally meant to be a hammer to beat the hell out of yourself with if you're struggling. And I will tell you that it's not just whether it's your age or you're male or female or whatever. There's stressors, there's seasons of life, there's all kinds of things that determine our health and well-being. So going beyond the scale, my North Star approach to it is what I call living the life that you love and living it well. It's both of those parts. It's a dance of those parts. And I'm going to continue to daily explore and share what I'm learning. So, in the spirit of moving beyond the scale, I am actually here right now on where the footprint was for the Biggest Loser gym. The place where we first stood on the scale, the place in which I will tell you, being a contestant, every time we would walk up to where the gym was at night, it was just because I guess it was more dramatic or whatever, you always had a pit in your stomach because you knew, unlike your bathroom scale, that night could be the night that you got sent home. And if you were lucky enough to make it this far on Biggest Loser and become a contestant, once you got here, you didn't want to go home. You wanted to stay there. You wanted to keep learning. You wanted to be in the midst of others that were in the same kind of boat you were, same kind of mindset. So we hated whenever we got eliminated and went home, because we felt like we were going back to where we were before, back to the old environment of why we or how we got where we were. So we lived and died by the scale every single week, and it was stressful, to say the least. So the gym's gone. Primarily everything about Biggest Loser that we all knew, if you watch the show from seasons like 5 through 17, it's not here anymore. The dorm's still here. The dorms looks great. They've made some changes. They put the kitchen back to the way it was before Biggest Loser was here. The mountains are obviously still the same. I don't know what happened up there on Inspiration Point. When I was up there the other day with Gary Deckman, he and I were up there at the top. There used to be a tree. I don't know what happened to the tree. The tree's gone. Such is life. Things happen. Things go away. So, with all that being said, I have brought from New Jersey my friend Gloria, and our producer of Going Beyond the Scale podcast and a lot of other things. She gave me one of her bathroom scales. And I brought it out here. It was funny because when I knew it was going to get checked in with TSA, it was going to be an issue. I brought a piece of 1 pound My Pet Fat, which looks like a silicone bomb, and the scale, and that stopped me for a while, slowed me down in TSA. But I brought the scale all the way out here because I knew that I wanted to create a visual reference for myself and for others, the idea of like letting go of the past way in which you looked at the scale as being some determinant of your success for your well-being. It's not. It sucks. It doesn't help you. Bathroom scales suck. They are horrible. They don't work to what you want to know, especially when you consider we're 50 to 60% water in any given day, hormones, stressors, women having their period, salty foods, inflammation, you name it. The scale's squirrely because that's not the important thing. It is over time, what is your body composition doing? How are you growing lean muscle mass? How are you deciding if you want to get rid of some body fat? Not just feeling great because you lost 7 to 10 pounds in a week, which quite frankly, usually, almost always is water weight. Your body's 50 to 60% water. It's water weight. So, the Rangers were very helpful. I didn't bring a hammer or sledgehammer with me, but they gave me one. So I have a sledgehammer. And I'm going to bring this hammer with me. And I don't have a film crew today. I'm the film crew. So I don't know how the hell this is going to work. But if you look, I have placed a common bathroom scale where I think sort of the big scale that you saw on TV was always, I think so. You know, it was always a beautiful view out the back, a little bit that you could see. But there's the scale. Classic scale. This one actually, it shows the 280, but it says on there it goes to 350 pounds. The dreaded thing that we all would stand on and fingers crossed, two things would happen. We hope it would drop. And sometimes when it dropped, that was great. And then it wasn't great because sometimes, I don't know about you, but what happened with me is like, okay, I lost some weight. I should reward myself. I'll have something to eat. So it's this weird ass dance back and forth between saying you want to lose weight and then you do, and then you're kind of like, well, I've done good, so let me reward myself. And then you go back and forth. Then you reward yourself. Then all of a sudden, maybe you were doing things again and the scale didn't move. But you didn't really know if it moved in the terms of losing body fat and gaining muscle mass. All you knew was this thing was moving and it was driving you crazy. And if you can tell me that you love a bathroom scale, please let me know, because I don't really know anybody that does. It's a dreaded thing. So I am committed to knock out the old mindset that we all have had about a body's composition that we don't understand, and then knock out the idea of a scale, a bathroom scale, which really has screwed up, I believe, millions of people all over the world, because it just doesn't, it's not accurate. Trust me, if our bank accounts were like the bathroom scale, we'd go nuts. Imagine every time you went to the ATM and you thought you had money, and then it's like, I did, and then I don't, I did, I don't, I did. That's what it is. It's like this yo-yo that goes on, that it drives people crazy. So, in the spirit of letting go of the bathroom scale, join me in basically crushing this and moving on and starting to think about our whole new way of the way we could look at for our body composition. And I'll talk more about that, but let's take a look at this. Here we go. This sucker's pretty tough. Okay, I think we got it. I think you got the point. It's not serving us. Love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear what you feel about this. And I will continue to share with you what I learned from subject matter experts from all over the world about body composition and how you can live the life that you love and live it well in terms of how you feel, your energy level, your overall fitness and vitality. So as always, thank you for stopping by for another episode of Going Beyond the Scale. And I will be back again probably tomorrow. Have a great day. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.